Most guitar players hate when their guitar solos sound like they're just running up and down scales. But you are. So let's reverse engineer this issue and start playing more musical and expressive guitar solos. Today, if you don't know, my name is Ryan Gaughan. I've been helping guitar players for 2 decades now, really bridge the gap between their creative ideas and what they are able to play, becoming fully fretboard fluent. If you would, please hit the subscribe and bell notification to get more videos on how to make your guitar playing better. Number 1, we are deathly afraid of repeating a note. Now, when we're running our scales up and down, we're constantly moving, ascending or descending, right? And that translates into our solos. If I'm playing, I'm just moving up and back, right? It's almost like hot potato to quickly get to the next note. So instead of chasing that next note, just repeat 1 or 2 a couple of times. Repetition is the birth of motif, and we can do it with 1 note. Now, we are deathly afraid of this. We think if we play a note more than once, it's like, uh-oh, we get in panic mode, and it's going to get really boring. It's not the case. Now, I'm going to do it in the same context, the same rhythm, right? But playing a note more than once, it just lets it settle a little bit. That's it. That's all I'm going to play. You can hear that it's already a little bit more musical than, and I'm not doing that much extra, right? Awesome. The second part that I started to add in there is space. Practicing our scales up and down, there's no space. So let's put some punctuation in our phrases and allow a little breathing room. Again, we are deathly afraid of this. We think if we allow space, we have to fill it up. Oh my God, it's going to sound boring. What am I doing? I need to fill it up, and I get into panic mode, right? No, let's just add a little bit of space. So now, a couple of notes repeating and a little bit of space. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Those two sort of breakaways from just running the scale up and down, right? That's it. That is already miles better than where we started. Now, this third one is going to be the most important one, and that is rhythm. When we're running our scales up and down, we probably should, I shouldn't say probably, we should have a metronome on. And all we're really doing is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Practicing our scales. Cool. Great. That works for practice, for speed. Up that metronome, get that speed and that picking synchronicity down. That's not going to cut it for our guitar solos. This is really interesting. If we just add a little bit of rhythmic variation, very easy way to do it is put a metronome on, tap your foot. Okay, that's it. You're going to play a couple notes on the foot tap, a couple notes not on the foot tap. So try it with just 1 note to get used to it. Takes away the bandwidth of like, should I repeat this note? Should I not repeat this note? What direction should I go in? All of that stuff, we just focus on 1 note. We get that rhythmic vocabulary in our playing. Now that, all right, I'm starting to get somewhere now. All right, can I come up with a different rhythm? All right, interesting rhythm, a little bit of space between phrases, and repeating the note. We are now miles away from where we started. It is really cool, if you're ready, working on your rhythm. If we can push up the rhythmic window speed, that means we can lower the slower or longer notes, okay? And this is what I mean. If I'm just doing, those longer notes, they're needed, right? But it's going to start dragging a little bit. If I can pull that speed up, get a couple hammer-ons and pull-offs in there, now I push that speed up just a little bit. Only needs to go up a little bit. That means that those longer notes, quarters, halves, whole notes, and the space that we're creating is needed a little bit more. If I have just having that, right, those little rundowns pushes that speed up, which gives me more variation to now bring it down. If I'm just doing, it doesn't give me enough to rely on that space and those longer notes. So that's something to throw in. Push that speed up. It only has to be a little bit. That's it. That's all you have to do. It pushes it up and allows you for more rhythmic variation. Now, when we get stuck in that, right, what doesn't save us, and the mistake that most guitar players think will save them, is like if I just learn more theory and more scales, whatever it is, and that just starts stacking information. If we can say something and express ourselves and bridge some sort of creativity in just the first position of the minor pentatonic, that carries into all of the positions of the minor pentatonic, the major pentatonic, all of the modes, right? Phrygian dominant, our half diminished scale, wherever our theory takes us, everything that we're building now is a vocabulary and not just information, which is where a lot of programs and guitar teachers sort of stop. So the goal is learning how to create and express, and theory is just the mechanism to do that. It's not the be-all, end-all. That's what I teach in my Fretboard Fluency Mentorship Program. Now, if you are in that boring, boxy, guitar solo plateau that we all get into, you really want to bridge the gap between your creative ideas and what you were able to play, becoming fully Fretboard fluent, I have a free training that is in the description and the first comment. And I break down how to start playing more musical, expressive guitar solos right away, and how to make sure that you don't get stuck in another plateau further in your guitar playing journey. Thank you for staying till the end, and I will see you in the next video.